I think it's pretty obvious we don't know what we're talking about, so I think everything's good.
Now y'all know what's wrong with me. And on that note,
I don't even know if it was bad reffing. I just know that it was bad on our part.
Go support your teams. Go
Yes.
support band, cheerleaders.
The autumn mix inspired Michael Ball. It's the first time he's ever raised his hands on a yes.
Well,
so that's pretty impressive.
Scare that referee back. Let's talk a little football.
welcome everyone to the press box. I am so glad you're with us. I am here with the South Georgia Sages, Randy Young. Are you in this too? Michael Best.
I don't
Jim
know.
Rayburn.
I don't know. Apparently not.
I'm not.
I didn't
not
know
a
we were
sage.
old enough to be a sage.
Well, I
Soothsayer.
that's right. I wasn't going to say anything about that, but anyway, I'm just the village. I'm the man.
Village idiot.
Yeah. Well,
I got it for you.
I'm the idiot in search of the village.
Okay.
Austin
Just
Reams.
hunting the village.
I can't even get the insult on myself right. We'll get it down eventually. But let's talk football. Let's talk Colquitt County with a big region win over Lowndes.
By the way, it's Jim Rayburn down there, buddy.
Yeah, I
just
don't know
want
if
to
you
point Jim out.
Jim,
Just-
right? Did
Point
I
out
say
Jim.
that?
We're tonsil is we're
You're
not
just
happy.
incognito
All right,
today.
We're incognito.
Tough week for the dogs.
Well,
we'll
we're
get
off
into
to a
that in a
good
little bit.
start.
That's right. Ooh, I'm just hitting homers all the time,
Yes.
y'all. All right, maybe I can do this show. Colquitt County, 38-35 winners over Lowndes. Fitzgerald hits a big field goal to win this game, and man, Colquitt's getting back in it a little bit.
It's
of
his
confidence.
brother. It's the
Okay.
one,
Yeah.
the
So,
brother,
yeah, we're
not
already
the
doing
guy
the
from
game.
Brother.
FSU, not
It's
the
his
one from
brother.
FSU.
No, if I'm
guy.
talking about winning,
I
I'm
thought
not
you were
talking about
about
Florida State.
Okay.
That's his brother.
Yeah. So,
All right.
The impressive thing about this game was to me was Lowndes County.
Yep,
yeah, they're
They
kind
went toe to toe with them.
yep. And had a chance to win it.
Right, that's right.
And just couldn't quite pull it off. But you got to give Colquitt credit too. Again, I think that young offense
It's figuring it out.
is kind of
right there.
figuring it out, getting their sea legs under them.
Colquitt is headed to Tiff County, and maybe get some more confidence there.
Yeah, they'll be fine there.
As Tiff rebuilds. Cairo winners, this is going to be really confusing because Cairo has a bunch of games. In this,
You got a bunch of games.
And like I can't even get my name
like a
right,
baseball
so this
schedule.
is so you have a 3-game series this. So you beat Leon 35-7. We're going to talk about that now. Probably as the show airs, we'll have had the Bainbridge game, and then we're focusing on Monroe. But let's talk about the win over Leon.
Take them one at a time here.
Yeah, that's right.
All
Win
right.
over Leon.
Okay, so that it's been a really strange season because we, from the very beginning we had to find us another game because Wakulla over the summer decided that they didn't want to play, and so they lost some players to Gadsden, and their coach said we don't want to play Cairo, we want to go find another team. So they wouldn't play us, so we had to search for another game. We had a couple of teams on the hook, and then sent them contracts, and they were ready to go. And then they called back and said our AD said we can't play y'all. So we lost out on that. And then finally we got Leon, but we had to move some games around. We had to move the Monroe game, and which our open week I think was supposed to be this coming Friday night during fall break, but we moved Monroe to there to put Leon in.
Okay.
Are we following it?
Yeah,
And
no.
so we-
I'm not, of course, but that's
But
okay. Our audience
anyway,
is smarter
Put
than
some
me.
shells here and do
Our
this.
audience is smarter than me.
So we got
you're
Leon
good.
Friday night, and Leon got a lot of good-looking athletes, got a good quarterback. The game was, pretty much in control. Interesting night. Brian Duncan had 212 yards of rushing and no touchdowns. He ran up down the field, but just
What
could
was
not-
wrong with him? Only
I don't
212 yards.
But
Come on.
no touchdowns. The Teals took over there, and all the Teals.
like
We were talking about that. Yeah.
We thought you ought to rest Duncan against
Yeah,
Leon.
well, he kind of rested for touchdowns, and
The Teals took
meanwhile,
care of
the
it.
Teals took
There
care
you
of
go.
all that. We had Jalen Teal and Zaquavian Teal both getting all the touchdowns, and Ronnie Huntley had one too. So,
Good deal.
Was this game in Cairo or?
yeah, it was in Cairo.
Okay, I thought you said you went to Leon.
No, they came to us, and the interesting thing, me and running clocks.
Here we
If
go.
I'm ever put in front of if I'm ever in charge of the GHSA, and I think my time's running out.
God help us.
But if I were, my first order of business would be, well, hello.
Yeah.
My first order of business would be to fix this running clock situation because if you have a running clock, we had one in the third and fourth quarter against them. The coach has to agree in the third quarter to do it. So everybody agrees that we're trying to get this game over with because it's over, and we're trying to get up. You should not be able to call timeouts.
Well, if you
anymore.
do, the clock ought to keep running.
Yeah. And now Monday night, which probably by the time we watch this, will have already
It already
happened.
happened,
We're playing Bainbridge in the makeup game. It starts with 5 minutes and 4 seconds to go in the third quarter. It's 4th down and 8 from their 40-yard line.
So they're going to go for it.
Oh, no doubt. I told Coach Coleman, I said, they ain't waiting 2 weeks to come over here and punt. They got some kind of trick play planned or something to do, so we got to be ready for that. And, it was a game that was played the Wednesday night before the storm came, and there was a storm came through, but according to Rob Nucatola, it had nothing to do with the hurricane. This was just a weather front. But we had 2 lightning delays, and after the second one, the game could technically be over because it was after halftime, but Bainbridge wanted to keep playing, which I don't blame them. You don't want to concede to your rival, so don't blame them at all. And so we're going to be, back at it again against the Bearcats on Monday night to finish
To
that
jump
up.
in there, though, if anybody can handle weird schedules, it's y'all.
Yes.
Always have the weirdest kind of thing happens every
always
year.
something going on.
So-
So we got that, and then we turn around and we've got Monroe coming up Friday night, and I saw Monroe play against Central, and their quarterback scares me. We have
He's
a hard
good.
time with a quarterback that can scramble and make things happen. So
That's a region game,
that's
right?
both of these are region games now. So 3 games in 1 week, like we play in baseball.
There you go.
Right, you're like the old Swanee in the SEC.
Yeah.
They played like 6 games in 7 days and beat the likes of Tennessee and Tulane. There we go. That's some old history
Yeah,
right there.
well,
That's
we brought it back, didn't
There
you?
we go.
That's
All
back
right.
in- back
For
in the
all
day.
y'all Swanee fans, that's where my brother went and played football. So there you go. All right. So
That's why you know all the history.
yeah,
there you
that's the only.
You don't know
history of
us, but
Swanee.
you know the history.
Actually, Swanee was in the SEC, guys.
He doesn't know our
He
names.
doesn't know our name.
Or my name.
He knows y'all's. He forgets mine.
He's called you Austin Reeves. I
know.
That's probably the lowest form of insult I can give somebody right
Says,
there.
as long
Sorry
as
about
not
that.
Michael Best.
After
Yeah,
this
I
past
know.
week, it doesn't matter.
Tough loss against Worth County, and we'll get into the officiating
No, we
a
can't.
little bit, or I don't want to get anybody in trouble.
I don't
but,
care. I can retire at any time.
Let's talk about some positives. I mean, you gotta flush this game. You got a big game against Fitzgerald. What do you think? What do you want your team to kind of take positive out of this? And then we'll get into some of the crazy calls. But
Well, the game was just a normal game. They won the toss. We took the ball. We go right down the field and score. Go up 7-0. Kick off to them. They go right down the field and score. It's tied 7-7. Then we go up 14-7. They score, miss extra points, so we're up 14-13 at the half. Come out the second half. We stopped them, and we said, well, the defense has got them figured out now. We go down and score. We go up. No, we don't score, and then they score again and go up 19-14. Well, we come right back down the field after their scored, go up 20-19, and the book says go for 2, but Jim's book says never go for 2 in that case, and that's the difference in the ball game. We could have been going into overtime, but anyway, we missed the 2-point conversion, so it's 20-19. We stop them down on Jackson Street end. Rex Schofield had almost blocked 2 other punts. He gets this one, takes it off the foot, and his momentum carried him out of bounds, and we score. First play, they hit that wide receiver across midfield, and then we sack him. He throws an incomplete pass. We chase him down from behind, knock the ball out. The ball's a fumble. The umpire threw the beanbag, but the referee on the other side goes down, blows the whistle, kills the play.
so an inverted whistle.
Inverted whistle. That's not ever in Thomasville's favor. And so instead of having the ball, they have another shot. It's 4th down. They throw the deep ball across the middle of the field. Our safety has a chance to pick it off. The 2 people collide. Flag flies in. Well, it's got to be offensive. No, it's defensive. Gives them a 1st down. Now they're in field goal range already, but I mean, so they kick a field goal with 5 seconds to go in the game, and that puts us at 2-1 in the region. They're 1-1, but they've played Fitzgerald and Thomasville. They should win out, but that don't mean they will. Jeff Davis might have something to say about that. But now that forces us to go to Fitzgerald in a must-win situation to have a chance at the region title, and we got to outscore. I've heard 10 points. I've heard 7. Any score we beat Fitzgerald by would put us in as the number 1, because Worth only beat us by 1, so and Fitzgerald's already beaten them by 7. So if we beat Worth by
Or you beat
8,
Fitz by
8 or I mean Fitz by 8, we would have and win out. We would be the region champ. We had the alumni band Friday night. I thought
Yeah.
about you.
Yeah.
I hate I couldn't be there, because of my game. But
Well,
I
think that was
I had the-
intentional.
I had the trumpet tuned up.
We were glad anyway, but
Jim had something to do with that scheduling. Just
I was ready.
but we got to go to Fitzgerald, and that's always a tough place to play. But usually if we beat them, it's up there.
Well, again, big game. They're all big this time of year, but especially
And on fall break, we got to go to Fitzgerald.
the Dogs traveling to
Of
Fitzgerald.
course, Fitzgerald's been out of school all last week. They got fall break this week too, so they've been off. They've been off kilter a little
They got
bit.
hit by the storm. So.
Right.
Yeah, they got hit by the storm as well. So a lot of teams kind of just dealing with, just controversy and adversity and all those kind of things. So interesting to see how this game.
But I don't
turns
have
out.
any problem with referees.
No.
So they meet together in a little group and start talking.
Yeah, nothing good happens then.
Got some good
together.
officiating, no doubt.
All right.
Strong men. Appreciate
You're
everything.
taking
they
up
do.
for him, aren't you, Michael?
Yeah, I'm a fan.
That's what you do.
Write me a letter. I don't care.
All right, so let's go to Thomas County Central. You had your get-right game against Veterans, 61-10, in an open week before you've got Northside. So, and you want to be getting right as you get into this stretch. But give me some of the good things about this game over at Veterans.
Well, Veterans has a really, really good-looking team. Their first-line guys are solid. They just don't have any depth. I was really surprised at the lack of numbers. They had like 44, 45 kids total up on the roster. It's a revolving door in that Houston County area in Warner Robins. Whatever the flavor of the month is, that's where they're going to be going. And right now, that's Houston County and period, it seems like.
Well, and Warner Robins is doing
And Warner
well.
Robins is doing
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
But it'll switch.
It'll
and then
switch around.
It'll be Warner Robins and Northside. I mean, anyway, right now, Veterans is on the short side of that stick. But our guys played well. Jalen Johnson threw for 407 yards. We ended up with 580 yards for the night, and they had 5 yards on 25 rushes. They did hit some passes, and it was more of the, as my buddy Blake Brookard would call, Hail Marthas. They weren't even really Hail Marys. They just chunking it up, and their guys would go get it. They had one receiver that had about 120 receiving yards by himself. But a solid win, and everybody stays healthy. And we get the fall break open week before we head up there for a back-to-back Warner Robins a couple of weeks, where we have Northside one week and then Houston County the next.
One thing I want to note on your, you had kind of a special moment to begin the game when your players coming out. Was he a former player?
But
or,
no,
it's a student.
A current student who was involved in that really horrible ATV accident back in Meigs back in the spring. And he has had multiple surgeries, and he was on the team.
Okay.
And he was able to walk them out through the run-through, which was a really cool moment. And, of course, we had the 94 team state championship reunion, and we inducted Tory Newkirk and his father, Ray Newkirk Sr., into the Little Sports Hall of Fame. There's a lot of stuff going on. It was a good night. And it was Breast Cancer Awareness Night as well.
Yeah, all right.
Really good.
Yeah.
Good week.
Yeah, good week. Got to prepare, and it's good to have your open week fall during fall break,
Yes,
which
big
is a
time.
nice thing. So
Big time.
anyway.
Yep.
All right, a couple more scores to get to, and one game I really want to talk about is going to be Mitchell County at Pelham. But let's go over the scores first. So Mitchell County beat Terrell County 40-6, and then Pelham they beat Randolph Clay 30-20. And so let's talk about that Mitchell County Pelham game, guys. Really impressed with both of these squads. I know Pelham's record is not what they want it to be, but how do you think Mitchell County has the advantage of this one, Jim?
I don't know. Pelham's got a good-looking football team. I think their fullback's back to full strength, and with the split-back veer that they run, that's key. That dive back, dive back is very key to their offense. So, Coach Pinkins has done a great job with Mitchell County, coming from 1-9 all the way up to
just one loss.
with just one loss this year. So that's a great job by Pinkins. And there's no love between these two schools because they fight over a few players every now and then, like some of us in here do. I won't call any names, but
I won't either.
Yeah.
Anyway, it should be a great.
Keep me out of it for now.
It should be a great game, but I would give Pelham the edge being
You
at
Pell on
home.
the edge.
At home.
At home, I say Mitchell County has the edge, but I mean, anyway, it's going to be a war. It's going to be fun. Who do you guys think's winning?
They call it the backyard brawl. It's going to be a big game. That's a lot of all in right there in the same county, kind of like you guys. And I like Mitchell.
You like Mitchell, Randy?
If Pelham gets a lead, I think they can win this football game. They're a little tougher, a little stronger defensively, I think, than Terrell is. But now, than Mitchell.
Mitchell.
Mitchell they can score some points.
Yeah.
That'd be a fun game to go to.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'll be intense.
Yeah, just sit in the stands there in Pelham and
Just
see how
enjoy
that
it.
one goes. Man,
Yes,
that's gonna
sir.
be fun.
Small town football is best.
That's what we like to see. All right, last score here. Brookwood loses to Deerfield 36-13, and they have open week offense got on the board a lot better this week, and pretty close game at halftime. So again, those young Warriors are making progress, and we're going to make progress. We're going to talk a little college football coming right back. All right, welcome back to the college edition of the Press Box. We're going to talk about Georgia's win over Auburn and just kind of our impressions of Georgia overall. They're going to be playing Mississippi State, which Mississippi State's having a tough year, so I don't think we're going to learn much about Georgia this week, other than maybe, can your secondary cover a little bit? I mean, other than that, they should handle Mississippi State, but when you look at the Bama loss,
You good, Michael?
am I boring you?
I'm just.
Am I boring you?
Georgia's got me down. Right?
Yeah.
I
like
had
win
to cut
and
off
you're down?
Facebook because you was getting kind of ugly to him.
I wasn't
You
getting
got
ugly.
ugly toward Georgia?
I was not. I just asked. I
Can
asked
we
questions.
complete a pass?
Let me call Kirby.
Yeah, I was going to say, you guys
Don't
are
think we
friends.
haven't spoken.
Yeah.
We've spoken about this. I'm worried about Carson Beck. I think he's hurt.
I think he is too.
I think something's up because, I'll tell you this. So hurt or not, you don't throw. He's throwing into coverage. That ain't got nothing to do with being hurt. But he's throwing into double coverage. He's trying to make things happen. But he seems to not. I mean, when he was warming up after
Grimacing.
halftime, he was grimacing every time. It just short pass. So he hurt the shoulder. I think the shoulder's still hurt. But he's just, and he runs around like he's got his feet in mud.
Well, the problem is if he doesn't make it happen right now, it doesn't happen.
doesn't happen.
because
That's the
they do
problem.
not have
Their
playmakers.
running game is, if you want to say what you make of Georgia, that's the problem. This is a team that is built for power running, and they are not power
And
running.
the offensive line has got some injuries, and it shows when
I
you
get
get down
that.
there to the goal line, you can't punch it in. It took all 4 plays to get them in.
Yep.
You can blame it on a Bobo. He started at center.
Blame it on a Bobo. That would be a T-shirt.
Blame it on a Bobo.
Blame it on a Bobo.
Oh my goodness, that was good.
That's good.
But do you think that college football has changed where, man, you just can't, and this is FSU's case where we thought we could rely on our run game and
No,
do you think college football, I mean, to me, you
if
just
you
don't
can
have
run the
overpower.
ball, you can beat anybody.
Oh, yeah,
Look at the Vanderbilt game.
But you
Look at
can't
the
just
Arkansas game.
you can't just overpower anybody anymore.
But
We're
also,
not getting
Georgia's
that.
not tackling. When you go to
Yeah,
the other
sloppy.
side of the ball,
Yeah.
we're just not locking up. We're not tackling. And then, for some reason, we can't cover a back out of the backfield.
That
Well,
wheel
that's
route, my
that's
gosh.
but listen, you're
You
talking to
see
a
that
Florida
all.
State fan.
You see that in every level.
Yeah, you see that at every level where the offensive staff game plan is for all of them is get a running back on a linebacker. That's what they
Two
do.
things here. Two things I want to point out. First off, Roderick Robinson and Branson Robinson, the two big power backs for Georgia, both of them banged up. The other guys are not your guys that are going to make yards on their own. And clearly, Georgia's wide receivers are not blocking to the standards we're used to seeing, or otherwise we'd see them attack the edges. The linemen are not going to – I kept hearing everybody say, well, just run the linemen out there, block outside. A 340-pound man trying to run outside to block for an outside run, that ain't happening.
Yeah.
That's not how Georgia is built. So somehow, some way, the physicality, to me, Michael, is what we're missing off this team. And hopefully that light bulb will come on. I don't know.
Yeah.
So far, not really.
You got some time to get it right.
We hope not.
I think, well, you got Texas looming, right? But,
Yeah.
I mean, Texas has
Tennessee, I mean,
Tennessee,
the schedule from here on is awful. Of course, the schedule the whole year is tough.
But, I
Well,
mean,
look at Texas. They got Oklahoma this week, their biggest rival.
then
And then we got Georgia.
Yeah,
next
yeah,
week.
I know.
but
I know.
I know you're worried about Oklahoma, but I'm not worried about
I'm worried about always worried about Oklahoma in the Classic. They're always up for it.
Their offense better get better in a hurry to get you guys there at Texas. But
Don't be
How
surprised.
about,
Don't be
before we get
surprised.
to FSU, and I know you can't wait,
Yeah.
and maybe you're going to talk about it yes, no, but what about this Alabama Vandy thing?
Well, we may mention that, and yes, no. Those Bama fans were real gracious about making the playoffs to FSU fans. So it may
there's
come
no
up.
telling what he's
Well,
done.
I was watching the Georgia game, but you had one eye kind of over there, but you kept thinking at halftime,
Oh, yeah,
Alabama's
like
gonna
Bama's
blow
gonna
them out.
win. Ain't no way.
All of a sudden, Vandy keeps scoring, and
Yeah, and Vanderbilt played smart. Again, if you have less talent, you give yourself more chances. You have to be more aggressive, and that's what they did. So,
Well, and Alabama made the mistakes in the game,
Yeah.
and Vanderbilt did not. The pick six turned out to be really the difference in the whole thing.
Malachi Moore.
yeah, what's wrong with him? That
I
was
tell you what, if
crazy.
Nick Saban was there, they'd be Malachi less.
Yeah,
I've been
Hey,
saving
you
that
have
one.
been waiting.
I've been
He
saving that
thought
one.
about that since Saturday.
Yes, you are exactly
But you
right.
know, what's wrong with that boy? He lost control. And then what they didn't show, because I've seen later, the Alabama defensive coordinator was at the numbers telling him to get off the field, and he refused to come off the field. Nick Saban's head would explode.
Yep.
And there's been players from Alabama that are left now, that are in the pros, obviously, that have commented and said that would have never flown.
Yep.
That Nick Saban wouldn't have had to do anything, that
The players would have took
Jerry
it.
Judy, Jalen Hurts, people
Tua
like
and those
that,
guys.
Tua and those guys would have gone out there and got him, and it wouldn't have been pretty. And the fact that I get it, because you play with a lot of emotion, but when he walked up and just kicked the ball, when they've lined it
He
up,
did that in the Georgia game, and nothing happened.
that
No.
is that's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
But that's somebody that knows they're not going to get pulled.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Bama doesn't have the depth they used to have because of NIL.
Yep.
So in other words, people say, your argument of Saban ain't going to put it, but well, one of the reasons why he couldn't is because the guy
Yeah, no.
behind him was just as good.
Yeah.
Well, it may not be now. And,
Well,
and by
after
the way,
the-
those players know.
after the Georgia-Alabama game, Joe Klatt said, I think as bad as Georgia looked in the first half, this is his words, he said, as bad as Georgia looked, they got it together, and I think they've exposed Alabama, and we just need to watch. Alabama, I don't think is as good as everybody thinks they are.
There you go.
And all of a sudden, the next week, Vandy gets them.
All right, well, let's get on to Florida State.
Florida State,
They
Florida
still
State.
they still suck. So, all right, you ready to do yes, no?
Wait,
Yeah, let's move on.
Brock Glenn looked good. Our receivers don't know that they're supposed to catch the ball, and our offensive line has regressed, which is very disappointing to see.
But at least the
They got a
whole
pulse.
team had some energy to
Yeah.
them. I mean, it felt like they cared
Yeah,
for the
that's
first
true.
time, if that makes sense. I mean, it's amazing how that one guy makes that much
Yeah,
of a difference.
yeah, and really energy. And by the way, let's don't make the mistake. A lot of really smart, good coaches have missed on quarterbacks. In other words, Saban missed on Tua. Also Kirby Smart. Probably missed on Stetson Bennett. He played somebody else for a while. Like coaches get this wrong. Very good ones, very smart ones. So. I think it's a start, but you still got a lot more you got to work on.
No
So,
doubt, no doubt.
I got an open week, thank goodness, for Florida State. All right, no open week for yes, no. Let's get to it. All right, here we go. How about the Florida at Tennessee game, Randy? It'll be close. Florida at Tennessee,
Yes.
it's going to be close.
Yes.
What do you say?
yes.
You say yes.
I'd say no. Tennessee's
Tennessee
going to come out
Didn't Tennessee's
fired.
quarterback get hurt?
He got dinged
I know
up.
he got dinged up. He looked
Dinged up.
kind of bad. Florida beat UCF. I don't know what to make of this Florida team yet.
Florida
so-
can run the ball. And that's that again, Arkansas is kind of giving you the blueprint of what to do now. If you can keep that offense off the field for Tennessee, you got a shot at beating them.
All right, Randy, Bama's getting the tough part of the schedule now. They got South Carolina.
As a Georgia fan, I resent that remark. No.
All right, you say no.
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 No, do they play anybody tough after Georgia? They don't play Texas, I don't believe.
I don't play Texas. I'm
They
assuming,
got Texas A&M, I'm sure.
Yeah, and of course
They
without
play good.
divisions and stuff. So
Texas A&M look good.
yeah, Texas A&M, and again to me, Texas A&M. Remember, Texas A&M lost to Notre Dame, and Notre Dame lost to NIU, Northern Illinois. Like, there's just a lot of average teams this year. So anyway, that's going to be interesting. All right,
They do play Tennessee. They have Missouri, LSU, and Oklahoma.
all right,
Okay.
but those
Also
are
said Oklahoma's no good.
Yeah,
So
I would
that
say
ends
that
that
they're.
then. I'll take them off the list, yeah.
They're Oklahoma. This is not the normal Oklahoma team. I mean, their offense is really struggling.
Watch them Saturday.
Unless their quarterback figures it out. Yeah. Now again,
Now
if you're
that you
Texas,
said that,
Watch them Saturday.
if you're Texas, I know exactly how you feel. They will play really good against Texas. So, all right, this one's for you, Jim. Ohio State kills Oregon. They play at Oregon this week. Biggest game of the year for Ohio State. I mean, Michigan's kind of looking pretty average.
Well, Iowa was a pretty big game because Iowa always plays this tough with their style of play, and they had a former Michigan quarterback. But
Yeah.
Oregon, I was thinking that game was in Columbus, but it may be in.
I think it's at
If
Oregon.
it's at Oregon, we're gonna have a really, 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 really tough time. But the running game for Ohio State with Junkins and Williams and Will Howard at quarterback, that
wins the day.
and the 18-year-old J.J. Smith, who's the one-handed king.
Yeah. So you say they
I
kinda
say they
roll.
win it, but it's going to be tight.
You say it's going to be tight. What do you say, Randy? You think it's going to be?
I think it'll be a great game.
Yeah.
It'll be a fantastic game, and it is in Oregon.
It's 7:30, right?
Eugene, Oregon is a tough place to play.
Yes, it
so-
is. We went out there one time before and got beat.
Yeah. All right. What do you say?
Tight game?
You say it's going to be tight. You think
Buckeyes.
Ohio State rolls? I think Ohio State rolls.
Oregon has probably one of the best young coaches
Yeah,
in college
yeah.
football.
One of the yes no's I thought about was that Georgia misses Dan Lanning as a defensive coordinator, but I think we all say
I think this is bigger than that.
yeah,
but,
yeah. But Lanning's a very good coach. I think Ohio State rolls. And
Oh, he
kills
came
them.
from Georgia? No wonder
Yeah.
I don't like Oregon.
Jim, Bama fans want Bear Bryant back. They want Bear Bryant back.
I'm sure there's some that do, but I'm sure they're wishing Saban was back.
I've heard a lot of Saban stuff, and I did not think that was a good move that he put his office still there in the stadium.
Agreed.
That's not smart.
Yep.
See Bobby Bowden's early career at West Virginia.
Yep.
All right, what do you say? Do they want, what do you say, Randy? Do they want Bear Bryant back?
There were some of them that probably would have after Saturday, momentarily.
Definitely Nick Saban, but yeah, probably.
All right, yeah, probably. All right, last question. Here we go. Randy, Paul Feinbaum switched out his Bama underwear to Vandy underwear. He loves him some Bama.
Yes.
He just had to be heartbroken.
Yes.
He was blaming Nick Saban, by the way,
Wait.
saying he said that Nick Saban said that the SEC is hard to play on the road other than Vandy.
Vandy.
That ain't good old well.
Yeah, and they
They
were
played
playing
that
that.
in the
They were
stadium.
playing that in the
That
stadium.
didn't age well.
No,
They're
I
playing
saw him
instant.
playing it right after
Yeah,
the
that's
game.
pretty
No,
awesome.
that didn't cost him the game.
Okay, well,
But
Paul,
he is wearing the Vandy.
he's wearing the Vandy underwear.
Yeah, he kind of, it's almost like he took pleasure in it, though, which was kind of weird when I watched a little bit of his show that Alabama went down. He took a little pleasure in it.
All right,
You know?
all right.
You know, that receiver, the 17-year-old?
Oh, is he 17?
Is he
Yeah,
17?
they
Ryan
mentioned,
Williams?
somebody told me that.
He was 17.
But I
crazy.
did see he set another record.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Youngest player from Alabama to lose to Vandy.
Oh yeah.
That's
yeah,
it right
that's a
there.
good one.
You know,
That's a good
another
one.
watermark. Because
All
he's
right.
17.
Because he's 17.
I know you're not a Paul Feinbaum fan, so.
I think he's going to change the burner orange.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
I don't know if you want him as a fan, but anyway.
It looks
All
like
right.
a 53 Ford pickup coming down the road with both doors open.
Doors wide
Just saying.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. And again, our thoughts and prayers out there for those recovering. And hang in there, guys. And we will see you next week on the Press Box.